Everyone, I'm Nosolabi. Last week we talked on healthy eating habits. This week I'll be talking on food hygiene. Food hygiene involves ensuring that whatever we are going to take in is safe for our consumption. Whatever we are going to eat is safe for us. And we must pay attention to this from the stage of purchasing that food item from the market to the stage of cooking it and to the stage of consuming it, to the stage of eating it. But to us, I'm going to concentrate more on stage of cooking to eating because most of us might not be involved in buying things from the market. The practice of food hygiene helps to prevent the risk of foodborne disease or waterborne disease such as typhoid fever. And as we all know, or as some of us are aware, that these diseases can even lead to death. They can lead to death. So it is better for us and it is of best option to practice proper food hygiene. The practice of food hygiene starts from whatever we buy, whatever we get from the market, the type of food items that we purchase from the market. For example, the type of pepper you purchase, the type of vegetables, the type of food items that we purchase from the market, the way we handle these food items, the way we store them, the way we prepare our food, the way we serve the food, and the way we eat them. So the practice of food hygiene has to do with each of these steps. Now let me talk on some of those practices that support food hygiene. The other time I mentioned that the practice of food hygiene starts from whatever we purchase from the market to the way we handle them, the way we store those foods, the way we prepare them, serve the food, and eat the food. But I'm not going to be talking on the way we buy from whatever food items that we purchase from the market, because I know probably few or none of us will be involved in purchasing food items from the market. So I'll be talking majorly on those practices that should be observed when preparing the food, storing our food, serving and then eating our food. I know probably majority of us will not even be involved in cooking, but let me just try and mention few things about those practices. So our raw food materials and cooked food items, we must ensure that they are being separated from one another. Raw food items are those food items that you bought from the market that you've not cooked. For example, raw meat. That's an example of raw food item. Then the cooked ones, and you ensure that you separate the two items from one another, the raw and the cooked. Meaning that you don't use the same utensils, the same plates, the same pots, the same bowl that held raw products, that held raw materials to serve cooked products, to serve cooked foods. Because the bacteria present in the raw food materials that you use, especially meat, can contaminate this food that you've cooked safely, that has been cooked safely. So it can contaminate the cooked one. So you ensure that you separate the raw food items from the cooked ones, and you don't use the same utensils that held the raw food material to serve the cooked food products. Also, you ensure that your food preparation areas and then equipment are well cleaned. That you ensure that the kitchen is clean, the cooking table, the cutting board, the knife, the turner, your spoon, every other things, you ensure that they are properly cleaned. For example, the cutting board, you can wash in soapy water that is warm. you wash in soap water that is warm and you rinse, just ensuring that whatever bacteria or germs that might be on those surfaces are cleaned, are removed before you use them in cooking. Also, when you are preparing meals, you ensure that you wash your hands before and after you touch any uncooked food, any food product that has not been cooked. Before you touch them, you ensure that you wash your hands properly, and after you touch those food products. Also, you ensure that whatever you are cooking, you cook them thoroughly, especially meat. Then you don't use the same utensils, the same pots, the same spoon that you've used to prepare a particular food to prepare another type of food. So don't use same utensils to prepare different foods. Also, when you are cooking, ensure you make use of safe water and raw food materials. That has to do with the type of raw food materials that you got from the market. Also, you ensure proper storage of food to prevent contamination. When you want to store your food, ensure you store it properly. The one you are supposed to put in fridge should not be put in the freezer, and the one that's supposed to be stored in the freezer shouldn't be stored in the fridge. So you store your food properly. And also, before you eat anything at all, whether cooking, whether it's involved in cooking or just biscuit or anything you are going to eat, ensure you check the label of that package for its expiry date before you consume it, before you eat it. For example, when you want to eat biscuits, you can check the expiry date. When you want to eat gala, especially, you check the expiry date. When you want to cook indomie, check the expiry date. When you want to make semo, all other foods like that has food package, you check the expiry dates before you consume them. It's very, very important. So also, you wash your hands after making use of the toilet. Let's say after cooking, you want to eat, then you remember you want to go to toilet. So by the time you are back from the toilet, ensure you wash your hands properly. Then also, you wash your hands properly too before and after eating. Before eating, ensure you wash your hands. Even if you are going to use spoon to eat that food, ensure you wash your hands. Because when you are eating, fine, we already know that you want to use spoon to eat that food. Before you know it, maybe by mistake your meat fell on your hand, or involuntarily you will use your hand to pick the meat to eat. So just to prevent any sort of things like that, ensure you wash your hands properly before you eat, before and after eating that food. Then don't leave your food uncovered. If you are eating and you remember you are supposed to do something else before eating also, or you are no longer eating that food, ensure you cover it. Ensure you cover it. Eat your food warm to prevent the growth of bacteria. There are some bacteria that survive under cold temperatures. So by the time you warm them, those bacteria will die off. So it's better you eat your food warm. Don't eat it when cold. If it's cold, try to warm your food. Then don't share spoon. Maybe you are in a place whereby you have only one spoon, and Taye and Kende want to eat, there's only one spoon. So Taye will take 2 spoons of rice, give that same spoon to Kende to take 2 spoons of rice, and they'll be sharing 1 spoon while eating. Some might even be 3 or 4 that will be making use of 1 spoon. It's wrong. Don't share spoon when eating. The best thing you can do is, okay, we have only 1 spoon. I will eat first. When I'm done, wash the spoon, then give it to the other person. Ensure you don't share spoon while eating, and do not talk while eating. We all know this. The ensure you don't talk while eating. Then keep your plates and other utensils, other cutleries used, keep them clean. Ensure they are clean. So in conclusion, I would say cleanliness is a major factor in preventing foodborne disease or waterborne disease. So when we observe proper hygiene in whatever we do, it reduces the risk of disease such as vomiting, diarrhea, and so on. So let's ensure we practice proper hygiene in the aspect of food, the water we take in, our personal hygiene, the way we take care of our teeth, the way we take care of our nails, everything that I've been talking about. Just let's make sure that we put them into practice. So till next week, take care of yourself. Bye.